Hey there. So the texting pattern you have with someone that you're chatting with, getting to know with online, offline, can be really important, although it's not necessarily an indicator of how they would be in person or on the telephone. So you want to be cautious kind of and look at the red flags in the texting, but keep your mind open because they really might not be this way on the phone or in person. So here's my personal dating story about this. Okay, so had an amazing phone conversation, like hours long with this guy. Talked the next day for 2 more hours. Amazing. So now we're starting to chat because his children are there for their, weekly visitation. And so he can't talk at length, which we would do because we've got a bazillion things in common and we would just chat. So we're texting, we're flirting off and on all day, which is lovely because he's pursuing me and he's doing the texting first, which feels really good. He's being the gentleman. Okay, so what I learned though after a while is he's very curious, inquisitive, asking a lot of questions, and he replies to me too. But what I notice is that he is not replying to the meaningful things in my text. So he'll ask me a question and I'll say, make a joke, meaningful part, 2 other miscellaneous pieces of information about the same topic. He will only reply to the least meaningful item in that whole previous paragraph, which is weird because he did ask me some things where I was like, okay, I'm just going to share some vulnerable things here. Doesn't comment, doesn't reply, doesn't ask an extended question, no validation or acknowledgement at all of what I just said. So this happens a few times over a series of days and I'm like, that is so weird. And so there was a night that he was supposed to call me and he didn't. No explanation, no apology, no I want to talk to you tomorrow, no nothing. So the next day I say, gosh, that's such a bummer. It didn't work out to talk again last night. Nothing. So then I'm thinking, gosh, is he trying to avoid conflict like the plague? Is that what this is? Or more than likely trying to avoid emotion, an emotional conversation of any kind. Because all the great 2 great phone conversations that we had, nothing was really emotional. It was fun, intriguing, travel, work, goals, dreams, patterns, children in school. All a lot of fun because we have a zillion things in common and a lot of connections in our lives, patterns in our lives. We both moved around, we both traveled, ambitious, like a million things. Nothing emotional. But again, it took me a while to see the pattern because he's distracted, he's busy, he's working, he's got, people at the house, he's got his children over. There's a million reasons that somebody's text can't be really taken for a black and white value. Plus it's text. We all know that there's no tone, cadence, we do our best with emojis, but that only goes so far. So by the time I put this all together, I was really sad, honestly, because oh my gosh, this is such a letdown. This guy isn't actually letting me in at all. For him, it might have been he's letting me in a lot. But he wasn't letting me in at all into his life, but he also was not going to let me reveal a lot and then him engage with me back. He did not want to develop that larger, deeper connection because when I did bring stuff up, because, I like being open and transparent with someone. If they ask me a question, why not? We're trying to get to know each other. I'm going to answer. To not reply at all, that was really sad to me. And it hurt after a while that after it happened time after time, I'm like, okay, this is way beyond an explanation of something going on or he's too busy or whatever, because this was a pattern of days that he did that. And I did bring it up. And then it didn't change. So that, was another strong indicator too that I had asked about it. And he said, what do you mean? And I explained, and then the pattern didn't change. And maybe that's why we drifted apart. Well, he drifted away from me, is because I was able to acknowledge the pattern, notice, set boundaries, and he saw how open I was about just addressing a difference. Not angry, just trying to understand him. I mean, I hadn't met him yet. I'd only like known him for, at this point, like 5-6 days. And that was just 2 phone calls and texting. And so it was really weird to me that he wanted to connect on all these fun levels, like travel. Like, he texted me a whole weekend planned of what we would spend our day doing. And then I texted him a day of what we could spend a day doing. Like, really fun, engaging, super flirtatious things, but not any like emotional connection. So that's not somebody that I'm compatible with, but it also could be him just keeping everyone at bay, or me, a woman that he's interested in, at bay because he's not quite ready yet. So the reason doesn't matter. It's just that it was sad to me because I want to have that open, free-flowing conversation and transparency with someone. And I did leave the door open. You know, I set the boundary and said, you know, obviously, you know, the time's not good for you right now, but when it is, you know, I'd really like to get to know you. And in the meantime, take good care. Yeah. Sad, but that's just part of the deal, right? We're not always in the same place. Okay, not often, rarely on the same place in the journey. So that's why a lot of times things don't work out. I'll be back Sunday with another one. Take care, guys.